The men and women that serve in the capacity of firemen and policemen, when they get to a situation in which they have to respond, they never know what they're really going into.
And while we go running, they go running into the situations. They do it because it's their call of duty.
You know, this is a public service, and I think at one point we realized in our lives that we want to make a difference.
After 9/11, everybody started to see the honor and the dignity and the dedication to service and community by first responders.
You need to tell them how much you care. And that's what's happening with the 100 Club of DuPage. We're getting the message out that we care about the first responders and their families, and if we can take care of them or help take care of them, that's what it's all about.
The 100 Club of DuPage County is an all-civilian organization that gives financial assistance to families of fallen firefighters and police officers killed in the line of duty.
The other thing they do is they also help the families of police officers and firefighters who have suffered perhaps a tragic loss or a severe illness that's not related to the job. So, for example, the 100 Club has helped out the family of a police officer who drowned while off duty and on vacation. They've helped out the family of a firefighter who was lost a spouse in a car accident while off duty. So they're not only there to provide immediate assistance for line of duty deaths, but also compassionate assistance for police officers and firefighters who have suffered other losses.
I feel that the 100 Club of DuPage County is doing excellent work. It's very, very meaningful to the families of the firefighters and the policemen within the county. There's been over 30 events over the past 30 years where they've had to come in and help people. 10 of those events are events in which, unfortunately, policemen or firemen have been killed. This causes catastrophic damage for the family, and the 100 Club has been there to provide financial support for them very, very efficiently and very, very fast.
Dan was working his usual midnight shift and was chasing some boys who had broken into the school. And he had apparently actually caught one of them, and he apparently fell over dead from a heart attack. As a widow, everything in your world changes in an instant, except bills. They keep coming. And then you get a gift of money from an organization that cares about police officers. It's right away after you become a widow that, at least for me, that they were there to help me. At a time when everything else in your world has changed except the bills. And that's how they minister to me.
Every year we have our annual meeting, which also includes the Valor Award, and that is emceed by Mayor Pradle, which is a phenomenal night. For those who are nominated for the Valor Award, we do show through a film the acts of bravery. So it's exciting to see that.
When the chief of police for Westmont, Tom Allhern, told me that I was nominated for this award and that I was going to be the recipient of this award, it struck something different with me. And I think it was different just for the fact that it was a definite life-changing event for me. Being shot at and having to return fire and using the level of force that we used to solve a problem doesn't happen very often out in DuPage County. Granted that we, law enforcement and fire department, we do our job on a daily duty, just saying that it's just our job. This is what we do, and this is what we get paid to do.
The call which we received the Valor Award for was on Field Court. It was a 2-story residential structure fire that myself and Ben Bazaar were on the ambulance company, went in, did a primary search, found a victim on the 2nd floor of that residence. We were able to remove him from the building to a standing by medic crew. We turned right back around, went right back into the residence to continue our primary search. When we got to that room, we noticed that the floor that we were just on rescuing the first person had collapsed into the basement. Basically, the way I felt responding to that is you really don't have feelings. You always fall right back onto your training. You get back home and meet with your family and realize how close you were to going down with that floor into the basement.
When people go the extra mile as far as police and fire. Makes me feel very proud, makes me feel very humble, but it also makes me feel like what's going through their mind when they're doing that. You know, I don't think they're worried about themselves. I think they're worried about how can I better serve this community. Yeah, my heart goes out to them, but I feel so proud.
I think people who choose to work in public service like law enforcement or firefighting or the military are just people who have a calling.
And I did it because I was really motivated many, many years ago by my father to serve the people that help us on a daily basis, and it's a way to give back to the public.
I actually started with the Kirkland Fire Department when I moved out into a less populated area and I could join a volunteer department, a volunteer rescue squad. And the genesis of that basically is over years of being in the helicopter 1,000 feet away from somebody's worst nightmare, not being able to do anything. And to be there and be face to face with people who are down on their worst day and being able to help out, that's huge.
The reason we do this job, I think, is to make a difference in one person. You can touch one person's or make somebody's life change. In the time that you're here working, you were successful.
So at Response Team 1, we absolutely take pride in being a supporting member of the 100 Club of DuPage County. It's a tremendous organization. Try to align ourselves with charities and that type of thing within the communities that we're active in to support their efforts. And I can't think of a better one than this one.
I'd like to encourage everyone to be members or donate to the 100 Club of DuPage County. It's really easy to do. Just go right to our website and click on a membership or just to donate, and just know that your money will be used to help those families, police officers and firefighters.
Anyway, good evening and welcome to our 34th annual dinner and meeting, the Valor Awards dinner here. I was 19 years old when this started. I had to do the quick math. Don't worry, I've got a calculator on my phone, so I was able to do that. I got that right. Basically, a little bit about me before we go on, because this is all about you. This is your night tonight. And there are some really amazing people in this room this evening, some that are good, close, personal friends of mine, others who I will meet up here at the podium tonight. And you guys are the real deal. And as the video indicated, I've been working for the WBBM in various capacities, both in the air and on the ground with TV and radio for the past quarter century plus. I've been in the Chicago media for 26 years. And I've been with the Kirkland Community Fire District, and everybody's looking on their maps, they're doing Google Maps. Where in DuPage County is Kirkland? Well, we moved out to DeKalb because we're such a big and expanding community of 2,000 people. We needed some room to grow. So I've been on the Kirkland Community Fire District for the past 12 years. And in that time, I have learned so much, not just about fire behavior and all the other amazing stuff that will keep you alive in the event of an emergency, but also firefighter rescue and survival. And the man in this room has been instrumental in getting that program together years ago. And as a matter of fact, his son is going to be getting an award up here in just a little while, so the apple doesn't fall far from the tree, and I'm very pleased to see that. At any rate, but being in the fire and EMS community and working side by side with our brothers and sisters in blue, you get to see it up close and personal what public service means to everybody. What you do on a daily basis to people that you may never see again. When you put on a uniform, when you get into a marked vehicle, whether it's a police cruiser or an engine or a truck or some other sort of support vehicle, you're out there in the community. We are very well aware, like in the media, fake news, we have a lot of that readily at hand. When you go out in the community, you've got hundreds of these things that are all pointed your direction. You're all held to a higher standard. And sometimes it seems that that's just not good enough. You're being held to a higher standard 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Your neighbors know you're firefighters. Your neighbors know that you're police officers, your first responders, your paramedics, your EMTs. You're the people who are going to go there and rush in when everybody else is rushing out. You're the person who's going to go in there and put on your white hat, and you're going to ride in and you're going to save the day. And it's a very tough thing to have to swallow when maybe that doesn't go so right. And maybe you tried your best, but you didn't win that time. But you were there to give people the best chance at survival. And nobody can quantify that. Nobody will ever know that like somebody who has served in the ranks of fire, EMS, police, or any of the other support capacities where you come face to face with not just drama on TV or radio, but the real thing. This is stuff that goes on. This is big. This is huge. This is the ripples in the middle of the pond that go out and out and out because you're possessed with the power to help somebody that you don't know. And you will treat them just like your own family member. You want them to survive. You want them to make it. You're not sitting there judging why their car wound up in a pond or how they got themselves into a fire or why they're speeding through town. You just want to make it better. And there's no better example of what this country is all about than that. And all you have to do, if you're getting down about something, just look at yourself in the mirror. Give yourself a little wink, a little pat on the back and say, you know what? I'm glad I'm doing this. And I'm glad it's me that's out here because I want to be the one that helps. I want to be the one that helps the person who helps. I want to make a difference. And there can be no greater thank you. I mean, we can give out crystals and ribbons and all sorts of amazing plaques that you hang on the wall. But it's at the end of the day, you get that feeling right in here that, you know what? When you go to sleep and you get to wake up in the morning, so did somebody else because of what you did. Maybe as a law enforcement officer, you came across somebody on the street who was not feeling good that day. Maybe they had a fight with their spouse. Maybe they came from a different side of town. Maybe not from your town at all. And you took them by the hand and you didn't judge them and you led them on the proper path. And they grow up to be an amazing person who had amazing children, all thanks to you, and you would never know. And in the media, we would never know. But that person would always remember. A famous line, and I'll get to the script here in a moment, I promise, we'll get this done, and we'll have dinner, and the poor pipers and everybody else, the color guard, are like, are we going to do this or not? They will get in here in just a minute. But basically, a famous poet of mine, a favorite poet, Maya Angelou. I usually reserve this for at the end, but right now everybody's still awake, so I'm going to use it now. And basically what she said, and these are words that I have in my back pocket, in my badge case with all the prayer cards from the folks that didn't make it, the guys that I carry into battle with me when I crawl a hallway somewhere or I'm pulling somebody out of a car. I have all their prayer cards with me in my badge case, along with the saying that no one will remember what you said. No one will remember what you did, but they will always remember the way you made them feel. And I think that is amazing and powerful, and there's nothing else that can be said to dress that up any further. So let's get going here. As noted in your program, the one with all the dust on it now after I got done talking, the 100 Club of DuPage County was established in September of 1982. It's a private, nonprofit, charitable organization incorporated under the laws of the state of Illinois. The club offers assistance to families of law enforcement and firefighting personnel who have been killed, injured, or otherwise stricken while residing or working in the county. We open membership to anyone. However, the 100 Club is a totally civilian organization, doesn't allow any law enforcement personnel, firefighters, their spouses, and children living in the same household to be members. It's our job as the 100 Club to be their financial support in their hour of need. We are honored to have a number of dignitaries, state and community leaders, and people with great levels of responsibility here tonight to celebrate our Valor Award recipients and support the fire and police service. It would be difficult to name each and every one of you. That is completely impossible. So please know that we value your presence here tonight and everything you do for the community and all the communities. So let's show our appreciation toward our leaders. And as George would say, I'm going to use the George-ism. Are there any big shots in the house tonight? Let's give them a round of applause. All you guys, the men and women who make these communities work, everybody who labors behind the scenes and are always there to support the fire and police service. At this time, I would like everyone to please stand. We've now reached the aerobic part of our presentation. And we will be presenting the colors by the Glen Ellen Police Department Honor Guard and the pipes and drums of the Emerald Society, the Chicago Police Department. And would you please remain standing for the national anthem?
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Order. Up. Left. Face.
Heavenly Father, we come before you this evening thanking you for this very day. We thank you for all law enforcement officers and their families, for all firefighters and their families, here and afar. We pray that you would continue to watch over them and protect them and guide them. We realize that life is precious. We thank you for every breath that we have. And now we pray that you would bless this meal that we're about to receive, and we hope that our conversations would be to your liking. In Jesus' name I pray. Amen.
My name is George, and I want to say thank you for coming tonight. Thank you for being here. And before I start the annual meeting, I really want to take a personal note of time to say thank you for all your prayers and cards and thoughts that you expressed over the last year. Last year, I couldn't make it because the big C came to visit me, and the cancer I thought was going to take me. And I told my son, just let me go. I said, I have no quality of life. I just want to go. Let me go. And then they gave me a blood transfusion, and I felt a lot better after that. And then afterwards, they sent me to a nursing home, and they taught me how to exercise and get back in the way of life. So I'm here because of all of you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And I sure love being a part of the police and fire groups of the state of Illinois and the county of DuPage. And thank you very much for all that you do. I respect and love all of you. So, before I begin the annual meeting, I want to point out that each of you should have a program guide to follow along throughout the remainder of the evening. In the guide, you'll find our club's annual report, a review of the club's events, a listing of our dinner sponsors, our corporate members, and an application for membership and donations. Anyone can donate to the 100 Club. For those civilians in the room, I encourage anyone here who is not already a member to fill out the application form or online and join this worthy cause. I would like to recognize tonight dinner sponsors who gave so generously for tonight's event. John J. Milner and Associates, Nameplate and Panel Technology, Addison, Britz, Kelly, Cooper, Gilbert, and Donolfo, Paramedic Services of Illinois, Railside Citrus Insurance Agency, Sawyer Feldudo Asset Management, and VFIS Midwest. Let's give them a big hand. Now, at this point in the program, I am required to call our annual membership meeting to order. Our financial status is outlined in our program, along with a summary of fundraisers and events that were held in the honor of the 100 Club. We are truly grateful for the donations received and continue to welcome any individual group or organization to name the 100 Club as your charity for your event, tribute, or memorial. This past year, the club gratefully accepted contributions from several organizations and individuals. Just to mention a few, members of the Rotary Club of Lombard, Carroll Stream Professional Firefighters Local 3192 Ball, DuPage Fire Chiefs Association Annual Golf Outing, 5th Annual Dodgeball Tournament, Franklin Middle School, Rock Bottom Brewery and Restaurant, Tapping and Chili Cook-Off Event, the Exchange Club of Naperville, DuPage Senior Police Management Association, and Roselle Police Department. In addition, we received the following memorial gifts. Matthew Johnson in memory of Deputy Chief Mark Johnson, Hinsdale Fire Department. Several donations were made in memory of Jerry Augustano Morelli, in memory of Joseph M. Mendrick. We are delighted that our visibility has improved to the point that organizations are selecting the club as a beneficiary of their charitable efforts. We thank all of the organizations and individual donors for their tremendous support this past year. We are thrilled to announce our corporate members. Gold level, Addison, Britz, Kelly, Cooper, Gilbert, and Donalfo. Sawyer, Faldudo, Asset Management. The silver level, nameplate and panel technology. We are delighted to announce our newest silver level corporate member, FT Cares Foundation. We have a bronze level, Brida and Michelle, FGM Architects, Village of Hanover Park, and VFIS Midwest. Creating connections, steadfast relationships, and providing lasting resources so that the 100 Club can continue to thrive for generations to come is a large part of what the boards of directors do. They give their time, talent, advice, and leadership. I'm honored and humbled to work with such brilliant minds who volunteer to make the club what it is today. Now for the board of directors slated for the 2018 year. Please stand as I call your name and remain standing. Stephen Donalfo, John Faldudo, John H. Kennedy, Bernadette Baraka, Michael Ladone, Chaplain Sue Linden, John J. Milner, A.J. Novak, A. George Pradle. I'm standing, by the way, I'm up here. Judith Sanders, Lisa Savanago, Gail A. Smolinski, Martin T. Tilley, Martin Walker, Kathleen Yasko. Is there a motion to elect the slated nominees for board of directors? Okay, is there a second? All in favor say aye. Any opposed? No. so moved. The board of directors will elect officers at their November meeting. Thank you. You may be seated. I would like to thank and acknowledge our chief liaisons. Deputy Chief Bill Homer from Glen Ellen PD. Chief Robert Tanucci, retired. Chief Andy Bonoma, York Center FPD. The liaisons are responsible for helping to facilitate the goals and objectives of the club. Specifically, they each serve in an advisory capacity to the board of directors. They provide insight about the club's constituents and information about what is going on around DuPage County through the respective areas of law enforcement and firefighting personnel. At the end of our summer, Chief Liaison Ray Byrne retired from the Lombard Police Department and as the Chief Liaison to the club. We are grateful for his 15 years of dedicated service, devotion, and support as Chief of Police, Chief Liaison to the 100 Club of Directors. We wish you well in your retirement. Is Chief Ray Byrne here tonight? Oh, I'm sorry. If you don't know him, you need to get to know him. He was always a wonderful inspiration to me. I just thought the world of him. And I just want to say thank you personally to him for all the direction that he gave to us on the board. Special appreciation. We are grateful. Richard Brink, and Bonnie Buckley here at the Hilton for their generosity, loyalty, and commitment to the 100 Club. Let's give them a big hand. We thank Michelle Buer, Marketing Materials, and Elizabeth Leahy, Reservation Logistics, Victoria Lenahan, and a 100 Club Administrator. And film director for tonight is Paul Thompson, and assistant is Kevin Willman. Do I have a motion to adjourn our official annual meeting and proceed with tonight's program? Whoa! Is there a second? All in favor say aye. Any opposed? So moved. The meeting is adjourned for tonight. Thank you so much.
Now, nobody can do it like George. Another round of applause for George Pradle. I love George's rules of order. Anybody opposed? No, let's move on. You, sir, have a career in politics waiting for you. Anyway, let's get back to the business at hand. And going to get a little serious here, but this is just an amazing thing that's coming up next. We're going to talk about our past Valor Award recipients. We're going to talk about who's been nominated and who's got the Valor Awards tonight. And we stand in a room full of greatness here, ladies and gentlemen. Those of you who are in the private sector, in the civilian community, it's a job, a time-honored tradition that's passed down from generation to generation. We've got a generation of firefighters here that have done exemplary and meritorious service. I speak of that because of my personal relationship with a man who I think the world of, and his son is here, who is a firefighter paramedic. You'll hear more about his valiant actions, and I would expect nothing less than someone who came as a generational firefighter in the wake of Robert J. Hoff. Those of you who know Bobby, stand up, Bob. Two-time winner of the Carter Harrison Award, former commissioner of the Chicago Fire Department, current chief of the Carroll Stream Fire Department, and doggone it, he just looks great with that mustache. I always wanted to look like him. It's so nice to have a humble and honorable gentleman like that, and his son, who's going to be getting an award here tonight. Not to say that we're foreshadowing, but I just gave it away. Let's move on. The members of the 100 Club show the men and women who serve and protect us that their sacrifices, their lives, and their families are important to us. As stated earlier, we're dedicated to helping families of police officers and firefighters who put their lives on the line for us every day, doing a dangerous job we cannot do ourselves. That's why we honor these individuals annually at this Valor Awards dinner. The Award of Valor is for truly extraordinary service. An act of valor is an outstanding act of bravery or heroism which is undertaken in the face of personal injury or risk to life, and which displays the personal characteristics of selflessness and devotion above and beyond the call of duty. The Award of Valor shall be considered a lifelong honor. The same recipient can earn the Award of Valor more than once. To be eligible for the Valor Award, the recipient must be a law enforcement officer or a firefighter whose primary work or assignment is in DuPage County, or who, while in the performance of their duty in DuPage County, performs an act of valor. At this time, I would like to invite any past recipients of this prestigious Award of Valor in attendance tonight. Would you please stand? We salute you. And now, the 100 Club of DuPage County is honored to announce the 2017 Valor Award winners.
11825, code 6, 105 North Avenue, 52. Call back units, any call back unit under 600 Northmont, 600 Northmont, code 6.
You're simply the best. Better than all the rest. Better than anyone. Anyone I ever met. I'm stuck on your heart. I hang on every word you say. Tears apart. Baby, I would rather be dead. In your heart, since the start of every night and every day. In your eyes, I get lost, I get washed away. Just as long as I'm here in your arms, I could be in no better place. You're simply the best. Better than all the rest. Better than anyone. Anyone I ever met. Ooh, I'm stuck on your heart. I hang on every word you say. Oh, tears apart. No, no, no. Baby, I would rather be dead. Each time you leave me, I start losing control. You're walking away with my heart and my soul. I can feel you even when I'm alone. Oh, baby, don't let go.
My name is Jim Jackson. I'm retired fire chief for the village of Downers Grove. The incident we're talking about happened on February 4th, 2017, at approximately 4 o'clock in the morning, when Engine 3 was dispatched to smoke in the area of 40th and Washington. While they're en route, the dispatch center upgraded the alarm to a general alarm response, confirming that there was a fire on Washington. When Engine 3 got on the scene, they came across a 2-story home that had fire coming out of the front windows and side windows. Also, they saw a citizen up on the ladder going to the second floor window where there was heavy black smoke being pushed out of that window, saying there was somebody trapped in there, and he kept on yelling, "There's somebody inside, there's somebody inside." Engine 3 immediately went into rescue mode, and they started making entry as quick as they could to the front, but the fire kept on driving them back. In the meantime, Truck 2 arrived on the scene, and they started assisting on the second floor to the window where the bedroom was, where the victim was. Quintriplet, knowing that had to get people inside to get to that second floor, he changed his position of the hose stream to get in front of the stairwell so he could block the fire from getting up there, so Engine 3's crew could get up there and start the search. Engine 3 got up to the second floor and began a search, and they came across the bedroom where the victim was. Firefighter Sohn and Firefighter Hoff immediately acknowledged that they had the victim, and they went ahead and started packaging the patient. Knowing that they couldn't go back out the hallway because the intense fire had now come up to the stairwell and to the hallway, they had to go out the bedroom window. With the assistance of Truck 2's crew, they got the victim up, out the window, down the ladder to the medics, where they began EMS and CPR. The patient was transported to Good Samaritan Hospital, which unfortunately she succumbed to her injuries. It was the outstanding determination and courage of Engine 3's crew that gave this victim every chance for survival. I would like to thank the 100 Club of DuPage County for recognizing Firefighter Hoff, Firefighter Sohn, and Firefighter Triplett for this award.
On over here. Congratulations, Andy. Good to see you. Congratulations. Good job. Good to see you. We're going to be, Chief, if you want to say a few words, or retired Chief, you want to say a few words about these fine gentlemen. I'll get out of your way.
Good evening. I would like to say thank you to the 100 Club of DuPage County for recognizing firefighter paramedics Hoff, Sohn, and Triplett this evening. It is an honor for our members to receive this award, and we are very proud of them. Teamwork, dedication, and courage are required on a daily basis to allow our first responders to perform at the high levels that they do. The actions that these men are being recognized for this evening exemplify the highest standards of the fire service and serve as an example of the great people that make up the Downers Grove Fire Department. Thank you again for bestowing this honor upon them and our department.
Each and every day when the Downers Grove Fire Department goes out the door, we do so with 110% of our efforts. That morning of February 4th was no different. We were faced with a high-risk, low-frequency situation that we train and prepare for constantly. That day, with few orders, these firefighters went to work and were able to remove an unconscious female from a second-floor bedroom. Despite our efforts, as well as the efforts of the staff at Good Samaritan Hospital, the female did not make it. The fire service is a team sport. Every individual action, task, and assignment hinges on the other to determine the success of any operation. No one action is without support of many others. I wish to accept this award on behalf of the Downers Grove Fire Department, the members who operated on the scene that day, the police officers who helped us to get water, the nursing staff at Good Sam Hospital, and the civilians on the scene who did what they could. Thank you to everyone involved in this process of receiving this honor. Thank you very much for the 100 Club of DuPage County. You guys go above and beyond for us and for the families of fallen members as well. You guys go out of your way to support them financially as well as any other assistance you give to them. So thank you very much.
And for those of you in the civilian community, in the business community that's never crawled a hallway or have been faced with a live fire situation, smoke is fuel. And so when you show up on a fire scene and you're doing your quick size up and you see that you've got a civilian that wants to go up to a second floor, endangering themselves into a room which is on the verge of flashing over, considering all that chunky black stuff that's up there, you got to remember, it's not like backdraft. It's not like Ladder 49. It's not like a Hollywood presentation where you go in there and you can see what you're doing and you come out with a nimbus of flame behind you in some sort of triumphant pose. You can't see anything. This is the real thing. It not only can kill civilians, it can kill firefighters. These gentlemen tried their best and got this woman out. And she got to advanced care. She had a fighting chance. And for that, no words are adequate to say thank you, regardless of the outcome. Another round of applause for these gentlemen.
My name is Philip Norton. I'm the Chief of Police with the Glen Ellen Police Department. On March 24th, 2017, a very chilly night, it was raining, Officer Riggle with the Glen Ellen Police Department received a call of Assist Other Agency at the College of DuPage. A car had driven down Faywell Boulevard and veered off the road into a pond where it was fully submerged. Witnesses at the scene stated no one had left the car underwater. When Officer Riggle arrived, he immediately stripped off his duty gear and jumped into the frigid water and swam 100 feet to this car. When he got to the car, he noticed a woman partially out of the car, unconscious. He was able to pull her to the roof of the vehicle, and in doing so, she regained consciousness. He then kept her on the roof of the vehicle, keeping her warm until the fire department showed up to rescue them both. Officer Riggle insisted on returning to work after his release from the hospital being treated for exposure, but he had one request: to visit the woman at Central DuPage Hospital to make sure she was okay. It's acts like these that make Kevin Riggle a hero. I would like to thank the 100 Club for recognizing Officer Kevin Riggle with the Valor Award for 2017. Very briefly, I'd just like to thank the 100 Club for this recognition. At this time in our country, when there's kind of an ongoing media assault against law enforcement, it's nice to know there's still these type of recognitions out there, and that no police officer, when he starts his shift, knows what he's going to be getting into that day, nor did Kevin. But when they act heroically like that, it's a good sign for all of us. So thank you.
Congratulations to all the recipients of the 100 Club of DuPage County Award of Valor. On behalf of the Board of Directors and the members of the 100 Club, thank you for coming out tonight. Whether you are an annual participant or here for the first time, we hope you will join us again next year. We wish you a wonderful time next year, and we're hoping that we'll have such a great program as we've had tonight. And I want to turn it over to Chris for a minute, and then I'm going to have the last word.
All right, here's Chris for just a minute here, believe it or not. Over the years, the club has helped both firefighters and police personnel and their families through medical tragedies and, unfortunately, untimely deaths. Loss of life, injury, or sickness is never an easy part of what we do as a club. And what we do is to be there as a family and be there in that family's time of need. Back to George.
That is why your participation tonight and membership to our club is so important. Without those funds, we would not be able to assist these sworn personnel who put their lives on the line for all of us every day. Thank you, every one of you that have been involved in public service, in the police and the fire. Thank you, thank you. You are so important and so precious to us. Thank you very much.
Thank you, George. Now let's everybody stand, and we will have the benediction with Chaplain Sue Linden, and we will also retire the colors. Once again, remember, the most dangerous part of any dinner is that long trip home. I say that at the Air and Water Show every year, and it stands true. So thank you very much. We love you very much. Thank you for coming. And now, Chaplain Linden.
I thought I would close with a familiar prayer from St. Francis Assisi. Lord, make me an instrument of thy peace. Where there is hatred, let me sow love. Where there is injury, pardon. Where there is doubt, faith. Where there is despair, hope. Where there is darkness, light. And where there is sadness, joy. just ask that God bless you and keep you, and may His face shine upon all of you until we meet again. And go in peace.
Present. Arm. Order. Arm.